Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Gilda Evans, bringing you the Autism Resource Podcast. This podcast and the ARP website are your one-stop knowledge and resource base for autism and much more. I'm happy to have Chris Biscoe join me as my guest today. Chris is the founder of ChrisBOnTheWeb Media, which has been operating for over 10 years. Now 39, he was diagnosed with autism at the age of 8. For the past 19 years, he has been creating online and streaming content with his team. With a recent additional diagnosis of anxiety, he is a big advocate for mental health and for all those with autism. Welcome, Chris, and thank you so much for taking the time to join me and discuss the work you do.
Thank you for having me. And I'm actually 40 now, actually.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
yeah, the December 5th. I
You
turned
had a
on December
birthday.
5th. Thank you. Yeah. December 5th was my 40th. Scary to think.
Happy birthday.
Time goes by fast, isn't it?
To get things started, share a bit, if you like,
Mhm.
about your diagnoses, I should say, when you received them and how they affected you.
For autism, I was diagnosed when I was around, I think, 11, 12 years old, almost my teenage years. I think it was my early teens, I was diagnosed with persuasive development disorder, which is it's not, I'm trying to think, how would I put that? It's a developmental disability. And it was a lot of doctors traveling from here to Toronto and just seeing different doctors to get that proper diagnosis. Originally, I was diagnosed with ADD or ADHD originally, and they tried Ritalin and it did not work. So that's when I actually started seeing the doctors and getting tests done and seeing what my actual diagnosis was with autism. Now, my anxiety, this has been probably happening since 2016. I was probably about 30 when I started noticing I was more anxious. I noticed change the way I talk, and I know I'm getting a little anxious now, but still, it was about 10 years. I didn't even think about it. I know the cops were here many times to do like wellness checks on me, I went in for counseling, and everything went fine. I got help. I've gone through some kind of therapy for my mental health. And finally, in 2023, when my grandma passed away, I noticed something was just off about me. And I was saying I was going to end my life, and I was just not mentally stable whatsoever. I didn't do much about it until 2024 when I said to my parents, I said, something is wrong with me because I am acting stranger than I normally am. So we went through the Ontario Shores, and funny enough, they actually called me recently just to get my psychotherapy for helping me with my moods because my moods are always different every day. I'm feeling down, some days I feel excited. Anyways, I finally got diagnosed with anxiety, and I've been going through Ontario Shores for the last almost 2 years now, getting everything figured out. And I'm going to be starting my psychotherapy this year, and I'm excited for it. And I got to also do some anger management as well. So that's all work in progress, but it's coming along.
That's good to hear. It's a journey, right? And
It is.
it's a process. But I'm glad to hear that you're addressing it and that you're moving forward and it looks like it's going in a positive direction. I think that's wonderful and that's super important. So tell me a little bit about your journey when you were younger. What was it like growing up with autism? What was it like going to school? What sort of support did you or did you not have that you wish you did have?
I went to Catholic school originally, and when the teachers noticed something was really off about me, I'm acting up in class, I'm being sent out, being sent home, I'm getting discipline notes from the principal, and out of control, pretty much. I was actually changed to a school actually locally near me here. I moved there for for the second half of the school year from January to June, and then I moved to another one near the lake here, and then I was out into another town, two towns over, and I was in a class called the BIC class, BIC. It is behavioral intervention class. So I was in that, and it was fantastic. Teachers were great. They were really helpful, and I got along with most of them. And there's one teacher that really stood out to me, Mr. Bass. He was so amazing to me, and I had him not just for I had him in my last elementary school, and I went to high school in 2000 in a different class, not BIC. By BIC, it was ME, multiple exceptions class. That's what they had at a local high school near me, which now is actually doesn't exist. It's defunct. It's actually housing now. That did not work out. I got in school suspension over little things, and I don't think that the teacher knew how to deal with me, and I don't really think the multiple exceptions class was the right fit for me as a high school student. So I went all the way back to two towns over, and I had Mr. Bass's class again, and he welcomed me back with open arms. The other classmates were happy to see me. I ended up going into two classes for integration. Integration is where I'm integrated with the regular students of the school. So I got involved with the choir. I had so much fun, met so many nice people, and two girls really stood out to me, and they were fantastic. So moving into high school, I went to a high school here in town, and it's the oldest school in my city. So I wasn't supposed to get my diploma. I was only going to certificate. The vice principal said, "Hey, you can get your diploma. You have enough credits. You're on track to get the right amount of credits," which was fantastic. And that was the year I got sick, and I ended up in the hospital with the two surgeries. So I finished high school, and then I started up my first video projects team, my first YouTube channel, and so another teacher, may he rest in peace. He's been gone for 7 years now. Mr. Pliszka was a fantastic teacher. He understood me, and he knew how to deal with my moods. He knew how to deal with me when I'm getting cranky, and his famous "Are you done yet?" comment. So that was always thing, but I do miss him, and I used to go visit him after school. So yeah, growing up, it was hard, and I think a lot of the students accepted me. A lot of them loved me. I know high school was a little tougher. I got bullied, picked on a lot. It was not fun. The teachers were there to back me up and help me out. And after that, I kind of laid low. I didn't do much. I just did YouTube. I was a YouTuber for about 8 years, and I in 2010, I decided to take a break from YouTube full time, and I ended up going to college. And I went into the Community Integration for Cooperative Education, which there's a bunch of different programs in different cities here in Ontario, which is fantastic. I recommend those who are like have a disability, autism. I recommend looking into that program. It is just fantastic. I was studying media, but it was a hard journey as well with college. I almost wanted to drop out after one semester. I was having girlfriend issues, and I think maybe that was triggering my mental health a little bit more at that point. But I actually graduated from college. I got my certificate. I graduated with President's Honor Roll. So that is something I'm never going to forget, is getting that distinction from college.
That's wonderful, Chris. And what that demonstrates to me, anyway, is how important finding the right
Mhm.
school and having the right support is to achieving what you can and being
Yeah.
successful and thriving. That said, what advice, based on your experience, do you have to give to people who are autistic or perhaps have other neurodivergences that might be struggling in some way?
Don't be afraid to get help because it's never too late to ask for help. And that's what I did. I asked for help. I went to my parents and said something's wrong. And I've said that before, right? I went to my parents and said something's wrong with me. I need to get help. And they're like, okay. So we made calls. I went to my family doctor and boom, I got recommended to Ontario Shores. So it's never too late to get help. And don't wait until the last second to get help because they can help you with the proper medication. You can live a happy, fruitful life. You can be positive, happy, smiling like I've been this year. I've been smiling an awful lot more than last year. It's not too late to get help and to get the proper medication.
I think that sounds like good advice is not being afraid to reach out for help and seeking the supports that you need to be positive and to thrive and to do whatever healing is necessary. Yeah. I'm so glad that you joined me today, Chris. I want to thank you for your time and for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me on. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, you can just send me a quick email to cbltwbiz@gmail.com. Just let us know that you heard me on Gilda Evans' podcast. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys may have about my journey with autism and mental health.
Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, and other popular platforms. We'd appreciate you taking the time to leave us a review. You can also listen to the podcast on YouTube at ARP Social, where you'll find bonus content. And be sure to follow us on Facebook or Instagram to get up-to-date notifications about the latest news and episodes. If you would like more information on anything else we've covered on the Autism Resource Podcast, visit us online at autismresourceproject.org/podcast. Be sure to check out our growing website often, since we are continually adding useful information and resources. I want to thank our listeners for spending part of their day with us. This is the Autism Resource Podcast, and I'm Gilda Evans, reminding you to take care of yourself and that special person in your life.